Listen to what she did. They called her the most beautiful woman in Missouri. Every man wanted her. But she was not there for their pleasure. She was there to end them. 5 slave traders controlled the territory. Bought and sold human beings like cattle. Law would not stop them. So she used her body to get close. Learn their secrets in their beds. Then one by one, she killed them all. Shot them dead. Freed 40 enslaved people. The trial shocked the nation. The jury had to decide. Was she a murderer or a hero? You need to hear this entire story. Every shocking detail. Every brutal truth. Hit that subscribe button right now and drop a comment telling me if the end justified her means. Because what she did next will blow your mind. This is 1870s frontier justice where one woman's beauty became the deadliest weapon against slavery itself. Stay with me. This gets wild. Missouri frontier, 1872. The trade still existed despite laws. Men bought humans in back rooms. Sold them to territories where questions were not asked. One woman decided to end it. Her name was Katherine, and her weapon was beauty. Katherine was born free. Her mother was freed slave. Her father was white landowner who acknowledged her. She grew up beautiful, educated, angry. She watched trade continue while law looked away. Men with money controlled everything. She decided to use their weakness against them. She studied the traders. 5 men controlled the territory. They met in saloons, made deals over whiskey, trusted no one but each other. They were rich, powerful, protected by corrupt officials. Direct confrontation was suicide. She needed access. Beauty would buy that access. Katherine became saloon girl at the Golden Eagle where traders met. She wore tight dresses, served drinks, smiled at crude jokes. She let them touch her shoulders, her waist, nothing more. She made them hungry. Made them compete for her attention. She studied their business while they stared at her body. The youngest trader, William, approached first. He was 25, knew money, eager to prove himself. Katherine let him buy her dinner. Let him talk about his business. She asked innocent questions. Where do you get your cargo? How do you transport them? Who protects the routes? He bragged, trying to impress her with his importance. She memorized everything. The youngest trader, William, approached first. He was 25, knew money, eager to prove himself. Katherine let him buy her dinner. Let him talk about his business. She asked innocent questions. Where do you get your cargo? How do you transport them? Who protects the routes? He bragged, trying to impress her with his importance. She memorized everything. The lead trader, Harrison, noticed Katherine. He was 50, cruel, controlled most of the territory. He invited her to private dinner at his estate. She accepted. She wore dress that showed her shoulders, her back, the curve of her breasts. She knew what he wanted. She would let him think he could have it, while taking everything he owned. Dinner was test. Harrison propositioned her directly. Your beauty is wasted on saloon. Come live here. Be my companion. I will give you everything. Katherine pretended to consider. What do you want from me? She asked. He smiled. Everything. She smiled back. Then you must earn me. Show me your power. Men who own nothing bore me. Harrison took her to his operation to impress her. Showed her the holding facility where people waited to be sold. Showed her ledgers worth thousands. Showed her his power over human lives. He thought it would attract her. Instead she memorized everything. The location, the guards, the schedule. While he boasted, she planned its destruction. She returned to Harrison's bed. Let him believe he owned her. She performed desire while feeling disgust. Each touch was sacrifice for greater purpose. Each moan was intelligence gathering. She learned his schedule, his partners, his protection. She endured his hands because she needed his secrets. This was war. Her body was battlefield. She sent detailed information to federal marshals. Harrison's facility, guard patterns, shipment schedules. But marshals were corrupt, paid by Harrison. Her information disappeared. She realized law would not help. She needed different weapon. She needed to turn traitors against each other. Create war from within. Katherine told William that Harrison was cheating him. Showed him falsified documents she created. Made him believe Harrison was stealing his profits. William confronted Harrison. Harrison denied it. Their partnership cracked. She did same with other traitors. Planted evidence of betrayal. Let their greed destroy their trust. While they fought, she gathered weapons. She recruited women from saloon. Former slaves, daughters of slaves, women who hated the trade. She told them her plan. Free the imprisoned. Burn the facilities. Kill the traitors if necessary. Some thought her mad. Others joined immediately. 10 women became army. Beauty and rage combined into force of liberation. Katherine stayed in Harrison's bed to maintain access. She memorized when guards changed shifts. When traitors met. When facility was most vulnerable. She endured Harrison's body using hers. Each time was agony. Each time was necessary. Her sisters asked if she was strong enough. She said, I am strong enough to do what must be done. That is all strength is. The night came. Katherine drugged Harrison's evening whiskey. While he slept, she opened his safe. Took money, took documents, took keys to facility. She left him sleeping, satisfied, unaware. She met her sisters at midnight. They rode to the facility armed and ready. Revolution arrived on horseback led by woman who traded her body for access to destroy evil. The night came. Katherine drugged Harrison's evening whiskey. While he slept, she opened his safe. Took money, took documents, took keys to facility. She left him sleeping, satisfied, unaware. She met her sisters at midnight. They rode to the facility armed and ready. Revolution arrived on horseback led by woman who traded her body for access to destroy evil. They burned Harrison's facility to ground. Watched it burn while freed people escaped north. Katherine felt heat on her face. Saw flames destroy place where humans were inventory. She smiled. This was better than any pleasure Harrison took from her body. This was purpose. This was power. This was revenge disguised as justice. Harrison woke to ruin. His facility destroyed. His cargo freed. His money stolen. His documents taken. He knew immediately. Katherine. He gathered other traitors. They formed hunting party. They would find her. They would make example. They would kill her slowly. But Katherine was not running. She was hunting them. Katherine ambushed them 1 week later. She and her sisters attacked William's compound first. He was alone, arrogant. Thought woman could not threaten him. She proved him wrong. Beat him with rifle stock. Demanded he sign confession. He refused. She shot his knee. He signed. Signed confession of trade, names of partners, locations of facilities. Everything. Then she shot him again. Dead. First traitor eliminated. They hit 3 more traitors over 2 weeks. Each time taking confessions. Each time ending the traitor. Katherine did not hesitate. These men destroyed families. Sold children. Raped women. They deserved execution. She became executioner. Her beauty no longer weapon. Now her rifle was. Her body seduced them close. Her bullets ended them. Perfect strategy. Harrison fled. Took his remaining money. Headed west to territory where law was weaker. Katherine tracked him. Followed him 300 miles. Found him in small settlement trying to restart his trade. She walked into saloon where he drank. Wore dress that showed her body. Smiled at him. He smiled back. Then she shot him in the face. Katherine took Harrison's confession before he died. He signed in his blood. Admitted everything. Named politicians he paid. Named marshals who protected trade. Named buyers in territories. She had everything. 5 confessions. Complete evidence. The trade's entire structure documented. Now to destroy it permanently. Not just traders but entire system. Katherine sent confessions to newspapers. Not just local. Chicago, New York, Boston. National exposure. The press published everything. Names of corrupt officials. Routes of illegal trade. Methods of operation. Scandal exploded. Federal government could not ignore national outrage. Investigations began. Marshals who protected trade were arrested. Politicians lost positions. System began collapsing. But Katherine was wanted for murder. 5 traders dead by her hand. Law did not care, they were slavers. Murder was murder. Bounty on her head. She had destroyed the trade but doomed herself. Her sisters urged her to flee to Canada. She refused. I am not running. I did righteous work. I will face consequences. Let them arrest me. Let jury decide if killing slavers is crime. They arrested her in 1874. Trial was national sensation. Prosecution called her murderer. Defense called her liberator. She testified for 2 days. Described each seduction. Each sacrifice of her body. Each piece of intelligence gathered. Each traitor killed. Jury heard everything. Woman who used beauty as weapon then used violence as justice. They deliberated for 3 hours. Not guilty on all counts. Jury decided killing slavers was justified. She had proven the trade, proven corruption, saved 40 lives. Her violence was response to greater violence. System failed to protect humans. She protected them herself. Law said her methods were illegal. Jury said they were necessary. She walked free to standing ovation in courtroom. Katherine became symbol. For abolitionists, she was hero. For women, she was proof of female power. For former slaves, she was savior. For traitors, she was terror. For corrupt officials, she was threat. She received death threats daily. She carried rifle daily. She was not afraid. She had already done worst thing. Traded her body for access to evil. Killing evil after was mercy by comparison. She wrote book called The Seduction of Power. Told everything. How she used beauty. How she endured Harrison's bed. How she killed 5 men. How she did not regret anything. Book was scandalous and best-selling. Critics called it immoral. Supporters called it necessary testimony. She said, I told truth. If truth makes you uncomfortable, examine why you prefer comfortable lies about how slavery ended. She used book money to fund Underground Railroad. Helped escaped slaves reach Canada. Funded education for freed people. Built schools. Paid teachers. Everything she earned from describing her body's sacrifice went to liberating others. Her seduction of traders bought freedom for hundreds. Her murders ended trade that enslaved thousands. Mathematics of morality favored her methods, however ugly they were. But trauma remained. She could not let men touch her romantically. Harrison's hands haunted her. She had traded intimacy for intelligence. Now intimacy was contaminated. She lived alone. No lovers. No husband. No family. Her body was her weapon, and weapon had cost her ability to use it for pleasure. She regretted nothing but wished it cost less. She trained other women. Taught them to use beauty as weapon. To infiltrate power. To gather intelligence. To strike when vulnerable. She created a network of female agents. They called themselves Katherine's daughters. They targeted remaining slavers in territories. They seduced access. They destroyed operations. Female warriors using patriarchy's weakness against itself. Beauty and violence combined. By 1880, illegal slave trade in territories was nearly extinct. Katherine's network had destroyed dozen operations. Killed 30 traders. Freed hundreds of enslaved people. Federal government finally enforced laws because public outrage from Katherine's exposures made ignoring trade impossible. She forced America to face its continuing sin. Violence was language system understood. She spoke it fluently. In 1882, former slave named Daniel approached her. He was teenager when she freed him from Harrison's facility. Now he was educated, employed, married, father. He wanted to thank her. "You gave me life," he said. "You sacrificed yourself so I could be free. I have son now. Named him after you. Katherine." She cried. First time since starting her war. One life made it worth everything. But enemies remained. In 1884, man approached her at market. Former associate of Harrison. He blamed her for Harrison's death. For trade's end. For his lost income. He shot her. 3 times. Chest, stomach, leg. She fell. He ran. Bystanders caught him. She bled on dirt road. She was 39. She thought maybe this is fair price. Die from consequence of her war. But she lived. Recovery took year. She lost her spleen, part of intestine, permanent limp. Her beauty was scarred now. Shot wounds visible through clothes. She was marked by violence she committed and violence committed against her. She looked in mirror and saw warrior, not seductress. She preferred it. Scars were honest. Beauty had been weapon. Scars were proof weapon had been used. Both served purpose. Neither defined her. Purpose defined her. She continued her work through 1890s. Not with body anymore. Too marked. Too famous. But with money, with network, with voice. She funded abolitionists. Sheltered escaped slaves. Testified in trials. Wrote articles. Gave speeches. Used her notoriety as weapon now instead of her beauty. Different tool, same purpose. Destroying systems that enslaved humans. By any means necessary. In 1898, Congress passed law named Katherine's Law. Made harboring slavers federal crime. Gave government power to seize property of anyone connected to trade. It was direct result of her exposures. Law bore her name because she paid for it with her body and blood. She attended signing ceremony. President acknowledged her. Said she forced America to keep its promises. She said I forced America to face its sins. Different thing entirely. She died in 1905, age 60. Not from violence this time. Just age. She died in bed surrounded by people she had freed. They told stories about the woman who seduced power then destroyed it. Who used beauty as weapon until beauty was no longer needed. Who killed without remorse because remorse was luxury that slavery's victims could not afford. Who sacrificed her body and soul to free others. Who was called whore and called hero and was both and was neither. Who was just woman who refused to accept humans as property and did whatever necessary to end that practice. Her funeral was attended by thousands. Former slaves, freed people, activists, politicians, women she trained, people she saved. Her casket was carried by 6 women from Katherine's daughters. They wore rifles across their backs. They did not weep. They stood as warriors honoring warrior. This is how you mourn woman who killed for liberation. With strength, not tears. With rifles, not flowers. With continuation, not conclusion. They buried her with rifle. Not Bible. Not flowers. Rifle. Because she was soldier in war against slavery. She would have wanted weapon in death as she carried in life. Her headstone said Katherine, the woman who ended the trade. Not wife. Not mother. Not woman who sacrificed. Just woman who ended. Action defined her. Results defined her. Methods were debated. Outcomes were undeniable. The trade died. Humans were freed. That was her legacy. That was everything. Her book was taught in schools by 1920. Not in South where her methods threatened white power. But in North, in territories, in black schools especially. She became legend. The woman who used beauty to destroy evil. The seductress who killed slavers. The body-made weapon against bondage. Different cultures claimed her. Different movements used her. She belonged to all who resisted oppression through methods powerful called immoral. Feminists debated her. Some said she empowered herself. Others said she reinforced objectification. She would have said both wrong. I did not empower or objectify. I used available tools in asymmetric warfare. Powerful men controlled system. Their weakness was desire. I weaponized that weakness. If that offends you, end systems that require such tactics. Do not blame warriors for fighting wars you did not fight. She was right. By 1960s, civil rights movement reclaimed her. She was proto-revolutionary. Used intimate access to infiltrate oppressor. Gathered intelligence. Committed strategic violence. Refused guilt about tactics. They studied her. Learned from her. Applied her principles. System protects evil. Destroy system by any means. Survival is not sin. Submission is. She would have approved of her spiritual descendants using her playbook. Today her story is taught as moral complexity. Woman who sacrificed everything including morality society demanded. Who said survival requires ugly choices when beautiful choices mean death. Who refused judgment from safe people about desperate actions. Who traded her body because body was only currency accepted. Who killed because killing ended greater killing. No simple lessons. Just hard truth. Sometimes righteous requires terrible. Sometimes freedom costs everything including innocence. Katherine did not end slavery. Law did that. But Katherine forced law to act. She seduced power to learn its weakness. Used her body as bridge to intelligence. Endured violation to gather evidence. Killed men who enslaved humans. Exposed system protecting trade. Created scandal forcing government action. She was not hero. She was necessary evil fighting greater evil. She was weapon forged from beauty and rage. She was woman who refused to accept world as it was and destroyed parts preventing world from becoming what it should be. Her body bought access. Her bullets bought freedom. Her sacrifice bought justice. That was worth every terrible thing she did. That was her truth. That is her legacy. The woman who seduced power to destroy it. And in destroying it, freed everyone it enslaved.